feel like it outside. But it actually is fall. And I'm going, okay, any time now would be good. But to help us, we have Kathy Carroll, who's going to talk to us about getting our yards ready for fall, assuming it ever actually gets here.
Thank you. As Kay said, my name is Kathy Carroll. I've been a master gardener for 16 years. I've been a native plant enthusiast for my whole life. I love propagators. I love propagations, one of my specialty trainings, and I love pollinators. Today we're going to talk about fall gardening. How many of you look at your fall yard now? And we've not had a hard summer, have we? It's been pretty mild. So we still have some bloomers, don't we? We got some things blooming. It's kind of cool. They're not all look like they died. So how many of you can look out in your fall garden and say, this is my rest time. Things are done. I don't have to worry. There's nothing going on in my yard. Does anybody believe that? Oh, y'all are so smart. This is going to be an easy one. Okay, so what is fall? What is fall in Texas? Non-existent. No, not really. Okay, so it's decreasing temperatures and decreasing daylight hours. Does it surprise you to know that it's the daylight hours that prompts our plants to stop producing, not so much the temperatures? Smart plants, right? Most of them can tolerate the cooler weather, but they can't tolerate the reduced sun. So that sends them into a different state than their blooming state. Okay, so fall officially started on September 22nd. Did you feel it? No. Okay, plant growth slows down. Insect and bird migration starts. This is very important. Insect and bird migration. What insects come to mind when you think about migration during the fall?
Butterflies.
Butterflies. What was the other one?
Hummingbirds.
Hummingbirds? Yes, no, definitely. And did I hear monarchs?
Monarchs.
Yeah. Okay. Slow microbial activity underground. The microbial activity underground is what helps our plants to grow successful roots, take up the nutrients they need. So the fact that the microbial growth and activity in underground is slowing down is important. What might that mean? That might mean that if you plant something, the roots may not grow as fast as they would in the spring when things are a little bit more active. That's not necessarily a bad thing though. Okay, solitary bees. The majority of the bees that we have in our area are solitary bees. Honeybees get all the support and all the advertisement, and they get all the hype because they give us honey. Boy, do we have a lot of honey in this state. You can go to any fall festival and you're going to find honey. But who doesn't get the support is the little bitty pollinator bees. And they're solitary and they live in the ground. Butterflies enter diapause. You'll find some butterflies that are just in their caterpillar stage, some of them maybe in the chrysalis stage, and they're just going to stay there. So when we go out there to clean our yards for the fall, we're destroying them. But a diapause is when growth stops. They stay where they're at. But come springtime, they wake up and they turn into the butterflies or the moths that we like. The monarchs, I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but the monarchs that were born on your milkweed, how many of y'all have milkweed? Trying is good. Trying is good. Okay, gotcha. So the eggs that were laid on your milkweed that turned into caterpillars that ate all the milkweed leaves and then turned into chrysalises and then turned into butterflies, those are not the ones migrating. It's the second generation that migrates, and they do not reproduce during this time. They save all their energy for that migration. When they come back in the spring, that light turns back on and they're going to lay the eggs on the way back. Fireflies find a place to overwinter. So where do you think they're overwintering? I put up a hotel. Did y'all? Yeah, no, we don't put up hotels. Where do they overwinter? What happens to them?
Underneath litter and on any of the riding like I have in Mexico for 2 years. I'll get under there.
Good job. Yes. Okay, here's a diapause. This is not the asp. Asp are popular and painful right now. You don't want to touch those suckers. But this is a caterpillar that's going to be in diapause. It's just a FYI kind of thing. Okay, so keeping in mind that your yard is actually very much alive and that those pollinators that you gave nectar plants are actually, a lot of them still around and they're looking for a place to live, and we didn't put up hotels. Let's take a look. The first thing that you want to do if you haven't done is take a walk in your yard. Walk around, take a look, see what you got. You'll go to one section and you'll say, oh, this is my sunny section. I have this plant, this plant, this plant. How did it do? What does it look like right now? Is it alive? First step, first thought. Is it alive? Okay, it is. This is good. Does it look dreary? Did it get enough water during the summer? Was it happy during the summer? Is it still blooming? If it wasn't getting enough water, why wasn't it getting enough water? A little side note, I am good. I did my landscaping on my house when it was built. I did it. I mean, I planned it. I didn't actually do it, but I planned it. So I had my sprinklers out. I had my irrigation done and everything. 2 years in a row, I lost plants. I have a large pollinator garden. I said, what I didn't do is take my walk in the fall and notice that the sprinklers, my plants had grown over them. They weren't getting my whole garden any longer. So then I went to drip irrigation. Pay attention to your water. This is a good time because a lot of the leaves have fallen. Things are a little bit smaller, not growing so much. Take a look and see if your water system is what you need it to be. Okay, hardscape changes. You got a lot of turf and you don't like turf. I don't care for turf that much. It doesn't add a lot and it takes a lot of care, and boy does it suck up a lot of what? Water. A lot of water. Is this a good time to do some hardscape changes? Take that turf out. Make some native beds. Plant a big tree. Look at your yard as you take your walk and see what hardscape changes you want to make. Sun exposure. Okay, I'm going to tell you another, because you know what? I've been doing this for 16 years, but you know what makes me different from a lot of other folks? I've killed more plants than any of y'all. That's the only difference. So, I had a beautiful garden in the back in this one area. Loved it, absolutely loved it. I preach, and I do mean preach, that you need to measure your sun. You measure it hourly. I cannot tell you how many people I've helped with their landscape. How much sun does this area get? Oh, lots. It's sunny all day. And then nothing grows. It's not sunny all day. Check it every hour. Write you out a little thing, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, full, partial, or shade. I didn't do it for my fall. My fall vegetables came out carrots this big. It wasn't getting enough sun. You've got to measure your sun exposure and how it changes through the year, summer through fall. This is a good time to take a look, because you're not going to be doing a lot of pruning, maybe not doing quite as much as you would in the spring. This is the time to take a look at those things. Do you want to reduce? I already preached about reducing the turf, particularly weedy areas. Do you have some, maybe a big plot or a big lot and you want to reduce the weeds someplace? I'm a hand picker, I'm organic gardening, so I don't use a lot of pesticides. I have solarized areas before. And this is this is a pretty decent time to do that, where you put plastic over it, let the sun bake it, and it kills it. Just keep in mind, if you do that, that you're killing everything. And that includes the microbials in the dirt. So if you do that, you need to reestablish that community underground before you plant. I do that with seaweed, molasses, all of the organic sprays. That's how I revitalize my areas. I've only solarized one time for myself. I've recommended it to some other folks, and it's been very successful. If you have a large area that's weedy and you want to pull that up, get rid of those weeds before you plant something else. What plants currently have seeds? What plants do y'all have that have seeds? You know what have seeds, and you're looking at them, they're sitting there.
I'm Pride of Barbados.
You're Pride of Barbados? Okay, awesome.
Zinnias.
Zinnias?
That's what
Esperanzas? Yeah.
Bunch garlic chives.
Awesome, awesome. Inland sea oats. Hopefully you've already pulled all of your wildflowers. Otherwise they've been dispersed already and it's too late. Look at what you have that has seeds. Your coreopsis, they will have seeds right now. This is a good time to go collect those seeds if you haven't done it. Collect those seeds and disperse them where you want them. If you're fine with it and you don't want to do it, that's okay, leave them alone. Let the birds eat them. If you're going to pull your seeds, only pull half. Let the birds eat the rest of it. I have cone flowers. I take half and I just drop it because it has its own community and I'm fine with them being right there. And the birds get the rest of it. I don't ever take them all off, and I don't take them off until the first freeze. They look terrible in Halloween and I love it because it looks scary. So if you need to replant, you need to use those seeds, pull them. If you don't, leave them, please leave them alone. Okay, what needs pruning? Why do we prune? This is an interactive class.
Get up, dead stuff.
Get what?
Dead stuff.
Dead stuff?
Make way for new growth.
Shape it up. What?
Make way for new growth.
Make way for new growth, that's right. Sometimes we prune to prompt growth. We've all seen manicured yards, right? Where if there's a dead branch, you're gonna go out there and cut that. If there's something that's overgrown, we're gonna go trim that up. What that does is it takes away a lot of the houses for our pollinators. So pruning, unless you're doing to encourage more growth, another bloom, like I do my cone flowers in July, so that they're gonna give you some more blooms. They don't give me much, but they give me some. Your wildflowers aren't gonna do anything, they're annuals. But pruning should be done because your HOA tells you have to. Maybe for some neatness, but not too much, otherwise leave it. Flame acanthus looks kind of cruddy because it just falls down. Leave it. The migrating birds are going to enjoy that nectar. Okay, what is the mulch situation? When you're taking your walk, take a look at your mulch. Put your finger in it, see how deep is it. Because we have such high humidity and we have unpredictable rainfall, we also have a high growth of fungus, spores that we don't want, spider mites, because of the humidity. If you're an English gardener like me, for lack of a better thing to call what I do, you have a lot of plants. All of that with the humidity contributes to bad conditions for my plants. So I have to be careful with how much mulch. What is the mulch intended to do? To suppress leaves and retain water. In our humidity, the water isn't just what's on the ground, it's what comes from the air as well. So be careful with your mulch. Give yourself 2 inches. But if you've got 2 inches, you've got 3 inches or 4 inches, and you have a lot of plants, and you're having some spider mite problems, or you're having some mold problems, pull some of that mulch out. Mulch is not always the answer. Any disagreements? How many container plants? How many of you have been caught? For me, I come home from work, my husband says, we're supposed to have a freeze tonight. I haven't moved any of my container plants to a safe place. Y'all ever been caught that way? Yeah. I lost a couple of plants, my crown of thorns being one of them, one too many times, and my desert rose. So then I started planning. This time, when I'm taking my walk, I am planning where I'm gonna put my container plants. So y'all, that's an assignment. How many container plants? I have some. I do lemongrass up on my porch every year to help with the mosquito control. I'm not going to particularly save those. It costs me $5 to get a plug at the beginning of the spring, and I'm fine with that. So decide which plants you're going to keep and which plants you're not. Your resources, your energy should go where you want it to go. Then you don't become so overwhelmed with your gardening. Not that any of us ever do that. Okay, in my walk, I find plants I didn't plant. Okay, I have birds, I have other pollinators, I have neighbors. I always find things I didn't plant. This lantana is so happy, I don't want it there. It can go someplace else, but I didn't want it there. That's when I pulled it up, repotted it, and it's gonna go in the Ron Petty garden. So take a look at what's there and do you want it? It's okay to pull out something you don't want. Say it with me. It's okay to pull out what you don't want. It's okay. There's not a crime. There are really no garden police, even though some would let you think there are. Okay, snake herb. Okay, I should have made that picture bigger. In my walks, I love snake herb. It is a feminine flower. It's just a feminine plant. I like it. I like the spread, I like the upright growth, and I like how it's delicate as it moves along. However, it's taken over my lavender. That's not cool. So one of the things I did after my walkthrough is I went and dug around that and put my snake herb over a little bit so that my lavender would have more room. My lavender needs a little bit more. Sometimes, the needs are about the same as the snake herb. It's not too bad. But because it had been run over a little bit and my lavender wasn't as tall as it normally would be at this time, I went and just did gave it a little extra fertilizer, a little bit of love, and so that's a good time to find out whether or not the plants that you have, whether the growth is what you want it to be. It's your yard. You can pick. Okay, plants. Collect seeds, leave some for the birds. Prune the perennials, move the plants. If your sun exposure has changed, and why might your summer sun exposure change from this year, or from last year to this year? What are some reasons?
The neighbor lets their tree grow up and you lose your sun.
There you go. That is the primary reason. And the secondary reason is a building went up that you had no control over. Okay, or sometimes your own plant grows, which is awesome. That happened to me when I lost a couple of my natives because it grew up too much. So take a look, see what's changed. Measure your sun again. Know what you're going to be looking at. Winter annuals. This is the time to go ahead and put your winter annuals in. If you're going to do bulbs, you can move them, divide them. I have spider lilies. I have a large bed of spider lilies. I'm not going to move them right now. I've had them for 20 million years. I know they're going to freeze down, and then come February is when I'm going to pull them out and divide them. So take a look at your bulbs. Do you need to? I have irises that I divide at the time when they go down, and it's just bulbs in the dirt. That's when I pull them up. This is a good time to check.
Amaryllis?
What kind of? It depends upon the amaryllis. Is it in the ground?
I've got some in the ground, but mostly in containers.
Okay, protect your containers, and your amaryllis stay in the ground. That's in the ground, leave them. They'll freeze down and then come back next year. Mulching, I don't heavily mulch my bulbs. For the same reason, it rots the bulbs. Our humidity is just too unpredictable. If your bulbs are in a place that is fully open, and mine are right up against the fence, that's prime spot for mold and spider mites. So I'm not going to mulch heavily there. So you'll have to choose. If it's wide open, I have another area that's wide open. There's nothing that's protecting it. I'll mulch that area because I won't have to worry so much about mold and spider mites.
I was thinking about putting some of the bulbs in the ground because I need to divide them.
Okay.
So
Excuse me. It depends upon the bulb. So you'll have to look and pay attention to your resources, and it could just be the planting guide on there as to when the best time to plant it is. If
I've had these a long time, they just moved around with this.
Okay, and you want to put them in the ground from a pot?
Yeah.
Okay. I would probably, it depends upon the plant. It all depends upon the plant as to whether it's going to need some time to put some individual roots down before. Most of them, if they're not natives, you would wait to the spring. But it all depends upon the plant. If it was an amaryllis, what I would do is go ahead and plant it now, and then I would mulch it and then just watch it. Don't mulch it heavily because you don't want to rot that bulb. Yeah, and some of that's going to depend upon the rain that we get through the fall and the winter. I have been known to pull my irises up because the area that I have them just got too wet, and I can't just leave them there to rot. So to be on the safe side, you can wait till March. Wait till the last freeze. But your choice. If you've got a lot of them, plant 3 of them now, and then plant the other 3 later. See how they do. And then let me know. Okay, spring bulbs, we talked about spring annuals. Did y'all know if you've got wildflower seeds, now is the time you put them down? Did you know that? You didn't know that? Huh?
I said no, but I did.
Okay. If you want Texas wildflowers, you put those seeds down now. Now. This is my, hey, I saw you this morning. The way I do it, the way I've always done it, and I've been successful, it's not the only way. It's not the only way, and it ain't perfect. I take soil and I take sand and I mix my seeds in that. And then I disperse them that way. I water them in that first time and then I let it go. What I have found is that the dirt and the sand help to weigh down the seeds. Most of the seeds of our natives are very tiny and they blow away. Pay attention to the weather.
How often should I water?
Just water them the first time.
I watered them then, okay.
Okay, then I wouldn't do anything else. Just let nature take its course. I am not an advocate for overwatering, and natives are not used to they're used to whatever comes from the sky. So I don't water them again.
I'm not from here.
Okay, don't water them again. Where are you from? Where are you from?
From South Carolina, but I didn't have
Oh,
a
okay.
backyard. Which I
Okay.
don't have.
Well, you have some cooler temperatures, but you've got the same humidity that we do, I think.
I like it better here.
It's less humidity here?
To me, it
Oh, how
feels
interesting.
less.
Hey, there's some places got less than we do. All right, that has more than we do. That's
But I
awesome.
was also by the shore, so that might.
Oh, that made a big difference. Yeah, that made a difference. I don't water them but the first time, and then just let it go. You are successful with wildflowers the longer you let them go on and you let them reseed. I know y'all are experienced and y'all are knowledgeable, so this is not something you do. But I have known people to go out there and cut their flowers on the wildflowers and wonder why they didn't come back the next year. Just to reiterate, you have to, in order to have a seed, you have to have a flower. In order to have a flower, you have to have a seed. So if you wait till they flower, let them go to seed, let them drop if you're happy, if not, pick them up. But now's the time to plant them. Sun, they like sun. Okay, perennials. If you're gonna do perennials, this is the perfect time to plant them. I like to say plants like to do one thing and do that one thing well. If you plant it now, unless it's a fall or winter bloomer, in which case you should have planted them in the spring or the summer, but unless they're a spring or a fall bloomer, or unless a fall or winter bloomer, what they're gonna do is put down roots. And that's what you want them to do. I love fall. It is my primary planting time because they grow roots, and come spring, come summer, they are ready to go. They get used to the soil that they're in versus the nursery pot. So it's a good time to plant. So while you're taking your walk, figure out what spot you'd like to put another plant, and then figure out which plant that is. Are y'all aware of the tags that are on the nursery, the plants in the nursery, and how that may or may not be what it actually is? That you can't go with the common name, you've really got to know the scientific name. It's worth your time and your money to research that before you go and look for it. And I love our nurseries. Nothing but respect for them. I know it's hard to make a profit. I appreciate the ones that were able to survive through COVID, but they will look me in the face and say, that's a Texas native. And they believe it, and it's not. So you gotta know the scientific name, and then hope they labeled it right. Okay, these are seeds that I collected already in the middle of the summer. I'm just gonna let these go. I'm not gonna prune them, I'm not gonna do anything. Some butterflies, the fireflies, they will find a place here to stay. The lizards, all of them, this is where they're gonna overwinter. Because I don't have really a water feature, we're putting in a pond now. I don't get a lot of the frogs that are gonna eat them. So it's a little bit nice. These are my coneflowers. They look terrible at Halloween. I love them, they're scary. They're gonna stay because I've already taken all the seeds that I want. Okay, pruning basics. We've already talked about why we prune. To keep it healthy, promote growth, make your HOA happy. It's real important to use clean tools. Folks, it really is important to use clean tools. It's just like you use a clean fork every time, right? And when you go to the doctor, they give you a shot, they don't use the syringe that they used on someone else. Well, your plant's kind of saying the same thing. If you cut that plant, who had a disease, by the way, did you not know that? You may not have known. Now you're going to do this plant. You could spread the disease, and you don't want that to happen. Clean your tools. Do y'all know how to clean tools?
I would like you to tell me an easy way, simple, like,
I'm all about simple. I have an alcohol swab. I get boxes of alcohol swabs, and I clean it. I'm done with it. The alcohol swabs are on my kitchen counter and in my shed. They dry out in the shed, so not the best place. I just grab one of those and clean it off.
all right.
And I'm making a habit takes repetition. So once I've made that, because if I didn't, in order to get in the habit, I would go back out and do it. And I hate coming in hot, sweaty, and icky, and then having to go back out and clean my tools.
Yes, someone said maybe to have like the chlorine, Clorox wipes.
Bleach, that's good.
Well, and that's what I have out on my
There you go.
thing. I just pull one out and wipe it off.
There you go.
And it dries just like the alcohol.
There you go. And I'm a nurse, so the alcohol is just second nature to me. But that's a great, and those are larger cloths.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's easier. And with bleach and with alcohol, you don't have to rinse it off. If you use some of the other stuff, there's vinegar, baking soda, some other things, and you have to rinse those off. If you use soap, you have to rinse it off. Appropriate for plant. It really is important that you use the tool that's appropriate for the plant that you're, particularly for pruning. You don't want to rip or tear the stem. You want to use the appropriate size. I have 3 different sizes that are right on my porch, so I can grab them at any time, because you can't take a quiet walk through your garden. You have to do something while you're out there. For the small ones, the medium ones, and the big ones, so that I'm not ripping it off, because that introduces disease. Because of our humidity, I know I've said that a lot, our humidity is a bugger, and it does promote growth of crud we don't want. Save some for the birds. Save some for the birds. If you've taken off a medium branch and it's not diseased and it's not harming anybody, just drop it. Just put it back in your garden. My garden is full of branches and tree trunks and what's outside of the tree? Bark, thank you. The word just whoop, full of bark. And that's where my little friends, that's where they live. Save some of the birds. Know your plant. Know your plant. Some plants, vines especially, will grow on old wood. What is old wood? Last season. So you've got to know your plant. Research it. A lot of folks use Google, and with AI now, it takes everything and puts it together. I have a couple of resources that I trust. But if in doubt, like in Native Plant Society, we're working with pearl milkweed. It's a vine, it's a pearl wheel, it's new to us. We don't know if the monarchs like it, but it's new to us. So we're all trying to research it. Well, there's not a whole lot. There's like when frog fruit first, became so popular 5 years ago. Nobody knew how it was going to work, how it was going to do, what we were going to do with it. So I planted it in my very sunny pollinator garden. It took over the whole garden. So we learned, okay, no, let's put some shade. Give it a little bit of shade so it doesn't go as far. So I don't have a place I can go for this pearl milkweed. But I do have 5 friends, and we're all going to do something a little different with it and figure it out. But I have resources. I do use Ladybird Johnson. I do use iNaturalist. Even Dave's Garden is more specific to Texas. So try to develop your own resources that you trust. You probably already have them. But that way you'll know how to prune and when to prune. Remove branches that crisscross. The best thing you can do for your plant, even with some salvias, is to open it up. Branches that crisscross prevent resources from getting into all of the plant. And it can strangle them or cut them off from the sun, the water, any number of things. So try to avoid crisscross. If you see a tree and what do I prune? What am I supposed to do? Open it up, open the canopy up. That's what it likes, and that will help keep your tree and your other plants healthy. Solitary bee nest. I know it may seem contradictory to you as a gardener to have some bare spaces, but they're not really bare spaces. This is where our little pollinator bees are going to nest, is in holes in the ground. You won't know they're there. You won't step on them because they are far more afraid of you than you are of them. They will crawl in that ground and crawl in that hole real fast. But you've got to leave some bare space. So if you can keep your mulch low, if you can leave some, I have bird baths, and around those bird baths, I leave it without mulch. I leave it dirt. I have pockets of just dirt. Your fireflies, your solitary bees, who are your primary pollinators, will live there. Y'all are not asking very many questions. I'm going fast here. Y'all are very knowledgeable.
No, I'm not knowledgeable, but I'm scared to ask any questions.
Oh, don't be scared. You know what? You ask the question, then I'll know. So, and we will all learn from questions.
Okay.
Questions are wonderful.
Well, I'll ask.
Please.
I have lots of Russian sage.
Uh-huh.
The bees
Love
love
it. Yeah.
Well, it needs to be pruned because it's getting sort of overwhelming.
Yes.
But
Prune it.
We're not rushed to do it. So
You know what happens? I'm
what
sorry.
I say is wait till the spring when they kind of dies itself back, or
Okay, that is a really good question, and for any number of plants. No, prune it to where it's where you need it to be. As long as you leave as much of it as you can with still doing what you want it to do, that's fine. You're at least leaving a portion of it the way it is. Now, if you need to prune it because it's unsightly, a lot of us, this is definitely me, if there's a part of my yard that I'm not happy with, I will avoid it. So I make sure that doesn't happen anymore. So if you need to prune it in order for it to be satisfactory to you, do it.
it's
But-
right at the very front door.
Yeah, see, you gotta prune that. Yeah, I removed dwarf Barbados cherry because the bees were so proliferative there that my grandkids were afraid to come in the front door. I get you. So move that. No, prune that sucker. Yeah, that's for, they have to live with us just like we have to live with them. So no, definitely, it's a very good question. Thank you.
But it is covered in bees all the time.
Yeah, no, I took my dwarf out and moved it over because I can't have people, my grandkids not wanting to come in my house. And they've learned, I mean, because I get stung every year. It doesn't hurt long, but your grandkids just don't want them to get stung. You know what happened to me this year? I don't know if it's happened to y'all. I was out in the front, what is it called, the death strip? Okay, I was out in the death strip. I was wrong. I started out at 7, it got to be, it was 10 o'clock. I was almost done, but I wasn't quite done. But I'd taken my gloves off. So I went into the coreopsis to pull out the dead things that I had trimmed that had seeds on it so I could collect the seeds. And I got stung by paper wasp, which I had never been stung by. That sucker hurt. Yeah, don't forget your gloves. And I know that. I've grabbed enough bees to know that. That was a really good question. Did you have something you wanted to say?
Me? I just started my garden, so I was just trying to get ideas, but one of the things I keep thinking, I want to put like a wall of something, and I don't know what to plant, and I was...
So you want a vine?
No, 'cause I have a fence.
Okay.
So I'm trying to block what I don't want to see of my neighbors.
Oh,
And so someone had recommended a Japanese yew,
Langrustum?
but then my husband looked at it and said no. So I don't know
Yopon
what
holly. Yopon holly.
Which, Yopon?
Yopon holly.
Okay.
It's a native, it's deciduous, it's evergreen, it's evergreen. It has beautiful red berries. Mockingbirds adore it.
Okay.
It is in front, I have 4 of them in front of,
I wanted to go 10 feet.
they go 8. They can go high as 10. Yeah, make sure you don't get the dwarf, that you get the full.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Oh, but everybody else has examples.
Depends which way your wall is facing. For what you do.
Good point.
East facing, west facing, north facing wall, where's
Good.
it gonna fall on?
Good.
Okay, it gets a strip of, because I am trying to figure out the sun in the backyard. So
Good.
it gets a strip at a later part of the day
So, okay.
of where I would put them.
So it's partial shade.
Yeah.
Runs east to west.
Yeah.
North to south, I think.
The dwarf hall, the yopon would do great. Yeah, they tolerate shaded conditions. What else? What else would y'all recommend? Okay. There's a start. Okay, native bee locations. I don't know if you have these as handouts or not. I can certainly send them to y'all, but you can also just look it up, and AgriLife has them as well. Okay, dwarf Barbados cherries. This plant grows any which way it wants to. It is a huge pollinator plant, but when I get in there and prune it, I will prune it in the after it goes flowers to berries. After the berries, that's when I prune it. Because I don't want to prune it before it goes to seed. Why not? Because then I won't get flowers. So you do it afterwards. And I can prune this 3 times a year. The spider lilies, and that's the frog fruit underneath it, and that's in the shade. And spider lilies, I already told you, I already know what that growth pattern is, I already know what it's going to do, so I'm going to pull those bulbs up in the early spring, February, March time frame. But that's because I know the plant. Greg's Blue Mist. This grows by rhizomes underneath it. It's going to bloom until it gets too cold and it freezes. The first time I had Greg's Blue Mist, I don't know if any of y'all have done this before, I didn't research how it propagates. So I pulled it all up. It wasn't by seed. It was by root, rhizome. So I lost all my Greg's Blue Mist. Luckily that was a long time ago, so I don't do that anymore. But those are the things you have to know. But this gets very unruly in my pollinator garden, so it has to be cut back. And it has to be paroled. I have to keep it where, yeah.
I had a raised bed, took over.
Yeah, it really is. The butterflies, it's a wonderful nectar plant.
Yes.
Okay, container plants. Container plants, poor things, it's a crapshoot. As to what kind of winter we're going to have is how they're going to do. I can tell you from experience, the best thing to do is plan a protected area, no matter what kind of winter we have. I put mine in my garage, and I have a thermometer in there that monitors the temperature, because I don't want to lose these plants. I have also a thermometer in my shed, and I have a heater that I put in there. But I have a tendency to forget to open those windows. So that's not good either. So garage is my place. It used to be my porch until Snowmageddon. And then after Snowmageddon took out everything, I don't do that anymore. I'm just not going to risk it. And I'm too old to be doing that at 6 o'clock at night, trying to get my plants in a protected area. So plan it, like we said before, plan it before. Are they dormant? Is it time to put them in a darker place? Can they tolerate that? Know your plant. Prune them. This is a good time to prune them if they're going dormant. This is a good time to clean them up a little bit. It's not a good time to repot them because you don't want to promote new growth. All you want to do is put them to bed. We're not going to, if you're going to put them in a place, you're not going to rely upon these for our pollinators. Now there's a group of us at Native Plant Society that are trying to move towards educating people on putting natives in pots. That is a work in progress, because natives are not known to do really, really well in pots. Watering, please listen to this part. Don't water them very much. Your container plants, when they're in the garage in a dormant state, all you're going to do is waterlog those roots, and you can rot the roots and kill them. Put your finger. The finger is your best way to measure your water. You put your finger in up to the second knuckle, and it's not damp. You can water it a little bit, make sure it runs out, but not so much that it's gushing out. You don't want damp soil, and that's what you'll get if the plant is dormant. So be careful when you water it, use your finger to test it. If it's even a little damp on the second knuckle, don't water it. They may need watering once a month, maybe. So just pay attention. Yes, ma'am.
When you put yours in the garage, and you do water them, how do you control where the water is if it runs out the bottom?
I totally cheat. I put them in my wagons and I put them outside. And I water them outside.
You must not have very many then.
I have two wagons full. So probably, by most standards, probably not a bunch. I have maybe 20, but they're different sizes. But I also put the saucers underneath. The problem with the saucers is that you're going to let that water stand. You can't let that water stand. If you have too many to do that with, and maybe you choose to put them on your porch and water them there, remove those saucers. Don't let them sit in the water like we do in the middle of the summer. We water the heck out of them and let them sit in that water. That's happy. Not when they're dormant. Yes, ma'am.
I saw on the show once that they pulled up their geraniums in a paper bag
Yeah.
to winter them and then pull them out and then replant them. Is that possible in Texas?
It is. It all depends upon the plant, and it depends upon your level of commitment to observing it. Mostly it's the plant. You got to figure out if that plant can tolerate that. While they are dormant, not all plants are just not doing anything. Some of them need some nutrients, and they get that from the soil. For geraniums specifically, I don't know. But it sounds like a great idea. What I always tell folks, try it. If you can divide a plant, do that with half and keep the other way. True. But that's a good idea. What is it that, the ones that are from Hawaii that are real popular, they have a sweet smell?
Plumeria?
Yeah, plumeria. For my I took them out of the pot. I conquered them, learned how to do them, learned how to grow them, gave them away, and I got bored with them. But I used to take them out of the pot. They truly go dormant. Yes, sir.
My areas in wet vacuums, old wet vacuums.
Oh, really?
And they got wheels on, they got a drain in the bottom.
Oh.
Last time I just put in drops of leaves, I bring them inside, I fertilize them, and I water them a little bit, and they stay in my covered patio all winter.
There you go. Depends on the plant. But that's a great idea. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, lemon? I just put 2 lemon plants. Are those supposed to go in?
I am sorry. Where did you get your lemon plant from? Do you know?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Scared to say though now.
Oh, no. Well, then don't. You don't have to. You don't have to.
I got some J Green.
Okay, awesome. Ask them.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it depends upon the variety, and I am not an expert on citrus.
Yeah, it's mine.
If anybody has any comments, I cannot help you.
I keep mine in a container. I've lost them too many times. Get that one freeze and they won't make it no matter how we out the trash.
It did say to keep it in the container.
Yeah, and I
So,
just bring it in if there's a
bring
hard
it in,
freeze and then put it around.
And the other thing is I have a bougainvillea.
Bougainvillea? Mm-hmm.
And that one, all of a sudden, I'm getting yellow leaves. And I've been watering it the same way. I reach in and I haven't been doing this for nothing, but and it's not wet.
If it were my plant, I'd repot it. Bougainvilleas like to be root bound. They don't like to be repotted. But if it's getting towards yellow, I would prune it and repot it and then just let it be.
Okay,
Don't expect nothing out of it.
okay, thank you.
I've got a Meyer lemon,
Okay.
like rock or porpoise in a big pot, and it's too big. So it stays on the porch, and I just cover it up when it's cold, and it's doing great.
Awesome. There you go.
But it's on the porch, it's next to the window on the porch, so it's protected, and I'll just cover it up really tight, and it's survived.
That's awesome. There you go.
Yeah.
That's
Lots on it right now.
okay. That is awesome.
What do you cover it with?
Multiple layers, but I have like frost cloth first, and then more and more if I feel like we need it.
Okay.
And I just sort of build a cage
house,
sort
yeah.
of out of patio chairs and stuff, so I have something, so it's not all the weight is on the top of the plant.
Okay.
Yeah. Good point. You can get the what's the white stuff called?
PVC.
PVC pipe, thank you, and it's probably maybe too tall for that, but some plants you can do that in their pot and then just put your row cover over it. You have to pay attention, no matter where you put them, you have to pay attention to the consecutive freezes. That's what kills us. If we have a snap, your tropicals they're not gonna be happy. They need to be inside. But even some of your other plants that are normally hardy during the winter, if we have consecutive below freezes or freezes, that's when your plant dies. So if you've kind of done it on the edge, I'm gonna put it on the porch, but I'm not gonna do anything else. Look at how long that freeze is supposed to last. It does matter. Fertilizing, it depends upon your plant. Know your plant. Don't assume it needs fertilizer. Don't assume it needs fertilizer. Plants do one thing really well. And if you give them fertilizer and they're uptaking it, they're gonna try to do something with it. But they may not have the energy to do it. So don't fertilize if they're dormant. They don't want it, they don't need it, they don't like you if you do that. All right, container plants. Yep, well, we just kind of went through those. These are some of my babies. The blue days, I love the blue days. I don't care if it lives or not, but now I'm gonna put it in the Ron Petty garden. But normally I would just kind of not worry about that. But my crown of thorns, no. That's going in the garage. That's gonna go to the spa for the winter. Okay, turf. Turf. What benefit does turf serve? I'm with you, April. What benefit does turf serve? Well, if you ask the HOA, it gives a uniform appearance to our neighborhoods. And this is desirable. If you ask a native enthusiast, it ain't worth crud. Because all it does is, yes, yeah, it takes resources from other plants that might be more helpful. But we all have to live with some turf. I have, even though the new laws say they can't really restrict the amount of turf that we have, we don't want our neighbors going, hey, look at that. So we may have to deal with some turf. You can make the decision, I'm just gonna put this in, it's not in my presentation. You can choose to do some Texas grasses. Do some Texas grasses. The HOA may not consider it turf, but hey, it's grass. They survive anything. Butterflies live in them. Creatures live in them. The pollinators like them because it protects them. You can consider that. Okay, mow while it continues to grow. If it's growing, you can mow it. You want it, your last cut needs to be 2 to 2.5 inches. Leave it alone. Don't scalp it. I'm not a fan of turf, but I'm a fan of living things. Don't scalp it. Leave it at 2.5 inches. 3 inches, it's good. Weeds, you can use a pre-emergent herbicide if that is your thing. Please do that. When temperatures are between 69 and 55, that's when you want to use it. So pay attention to the weather. Organic, you can use the corn gluten meal if you don't have deer. If you don't have dogs, because they eat it too. But you can use it. Hand pull before it goes to seed. That's the way I do it. A hand pull before it goes to seed. I would never do that with the Texas grass because we have some of the most beautiful grasses ever. When they go to seed, they're gorgeous. You can spread, okay, watering once a month if no rain. I don't water my turf in the winter. I just don't. If we get rain, that's great. If it doesn't, it's okay. My turf has gone dormant. It's not going to do nothing. I'm not worried about it. Even when we had the drought, I maybe watered once in between. Yeah, and that's all I did. I didn't do anything else. You can spread seed at this time between 65 and 85. If you're going to be diligent about watering it and you're sure you get enough sun, this is not a bad time to spread seed. And it's cheaper than doing the sod, I think, right? It's cheaper than that. Yes. Okay, not a bad time. I've never done seed at this time in the fall. I've done seed and recommended seed in the spring because you got, and in the summer, the beginning of the summer, because you got those hotter temperatures and you got that good sun. Any comments on the turf? All right, tools and irrigation. We talked about the importance of cleaning your tools. It's really important, and to sharpen them. If you sharpen them, then you've got a clean cut, and that's going to make your plant healthier. And if you're going to propagate them, you want a clean cut. You can use a 10% bleach, the alcohol disinfectant spray. Bleach is corrosive and needs to be rinsed off. Sorry. Have you been rinsing it? Yeah. I think you're fine. It is corrosive to your equipment. But generally, if you're drying it off or just wiping it once, I would think that would be all that you would need to do. My presentations are all researched and they're science-based, so experience may differ from what the scientific evidence suggests. Dry them completely. It is important to do that. We're doing a new bed up at the Slather, it's called the Ron Petty. Anyway, it's a new garden. They have some tools and they haven't been touched. They're full of rust and they're not sharp, and I had to use Rust-Oleum on it to get the rust off. It was so bad. But it was worth it because sharpening, I was actually sharpening the metal and not the rust. So you want to keep your tools clean and sharpened. This is the time to do it because you're not going to be using them as much. So this is a good time. In other words, so that 2 hours that you would be doing something outside, you can do it to clean your tools. Oil your tools, oil them. Just use mineral oil. They'll be happy. Store it in a dry area. Lawn mowers. How many of you empty your gas and your oil? Now, how many of you do it in the spring? You don't do it at all. Dudes, like my grandson would say, you got to take the gas out, and you got to take the oil out, and you got to put clean oil in it in the spring. You don't have to do it. You should take the gas out just because it's safe. You're not going to be using it during the winter. But you should take the oil out and then replace it with clean oil and change your filter. It's like your car. You should do that. Yes, ma'am.
For your tools, to store them, you can get a 5-gallon bucket and get children's place in, put oil in it, and then you can put your tools in there and it will keep it from rusting.
That is a great idea. That is a super idea. That is good. I have heard that. I haven't gotten myself together yet to do that, or steal the sand from the grandkids' sandbox. I haven't done that yet. Okay, this is the end of my presentation. Does anyone have questions, comments? Y'all were a great audience. I think you knew a lot of this. Did y'all learn something new today? Yes? Okay.
Just waiting for the reinforcement.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, great, awesome. Then you are free to go.
One item left.
Oh, awesome. Sorry.
Before they leave, pick out a raffle ticket number one
Oh, sure.
and announce it to the crowd. It's a legit drawing.